today, Lauren. I even got a card. What about you?
I got a card and I got flowers. But my friend's husband bought her a bracelet and he's taking her out for dinner.
Oh my God, does that mean that she has a better husband or a better marriage? Or is it just a case of falling into the comparison trap? Because that's what we're going to discuss today. I'm Nicole Goodman.
And I'm Laura Mishcon, and this is Self-Care Club. Comparing yourself to others is the mental act of placing your achievements, experiences and self-worth alongside others. This comparison trap often leads to you imagining others' experiences as being far superior to your own by comparing their looks, their social status or their bank balance. We're socialised to be competitive, and this tendency is called social comparison. It's a natural way for us to evaluate how we're doing. In fact, in psychology, Festinger's social comparison theory states that humans can't define themselves independently, but only in relation to other individuals.
That's a bit worrying.
And it's true. We compare ourselves to others all the time. We compare ourselves to friends, to people on social media, to colleagues at the office, and even strangers at the gym. Well, I don't, because I don't go to the gym, but maybe you do.
Well, I've actually got a lot to say on that.
We rate our appearance, our possessions, our performance, and even our problems.
And on that, the strangers at the gym thing. Firstly, no one at the gym is a stranger to me because I go there all the time.
Okay.
But secondly, I have actually learnt about this comparison practice mainly through the gym. Because if you compare yourself to everyone at the gym, there's always going to be someone faster. There's always going to be someone stronger. There's always going to be someone more lean. And actually, it has been such a waste of time. Me sitting there comparing myself to Abby, who's like a gazelle, can run for God knows how long and do it beautifully and gracefully, it's not gonna make me run any faster. It's just gonna make me feel bad about myself.
Sure.
So I've learnt that has to be a way to inspire me. Let me be inspired by that.
Well, we're gonna get into that, aren't we?
Good. Well, in many ways, comparison is a positive thing.
Yeah.
It's a totally normal part of being human and can be good for the self-improvement process, just like what I said. When we compare ourselves to others, we get information about what we want and where we want to be, and we get valuable feedback on how we measure up. People evaluate their opinions and abilities by comparing themselves to other people for two reasons. First, to reduce uncertainty in the areas in which they're comparing themselves. And second, to learn how to define themselves.
Yeah. But there are negative consequences to the comparison game. In most cases, it's extremely counterproductive to compare yourself to others. As Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of joy. When we compare ourselves to others who are better off than we are, it's called upward social comparison, and it tends to make us feel disappointed with our lot in life, and it can lead to so low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and general dissatisfaction.
Yes. And by constantly comparing, people lose the ability to celebrate their own achievements and often gain feelings of self-doubt. Exactly what I was saying, right? So you may lose your sense of self and what makes you unique, which is just tragic. It may cause a loss of self-compassion and confidence, leading to negative thoughts, which eventually can and probably will affect your mental well-being. Comparison also often results in resentment towards others and towards ourselves, and can quickly turn to judgment.
You know, there's that quote by Gore Vidal, every time a friend succeeds, I die a little.
Oh, that's awful.
It is.
That's awful.
Comparisons are also hardly ever fair. It's impossible to judge a running race if people begin at different times and on different starting lines. Perfection is an illusion. You probably don't see the struggles that other people face. They may be like the proverbial swan, calm on the surface, but paddling like crazy underneath the water. Your belief simply becomes, if you're doing better than others, that's good. And if you're doing worse than others, that's bad.
Yep.
But according to Zen Shin, who was a Buddhist monk, a flower does not think of competing with the flower next to it. It just blooms.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. The thing about comparison is it's just a waste of time. Like I said, it's never going to get you faster or stronger. It's just not. So there's just no point in comparing yourself to anyone else on the planet because there is only one of you. You were born with your own unique set of fingerprints. If instead you can focus on yourself and your own journey, Just that shift of energy in this will help you feel much freer. You can only control one life, and that is yours. But when we constantly compare ourselves to others, we waste precious energy focusing on other people's lives rather than our own.
So, is comparison something that affects you? I've made up a little quiz.
Nice.
It's called, Do You Compare and Despair?
Did you make it? I love it. Did you make up that name?
Made up the name and the questions. You ready?
Well, how does it work?
I ask you questions and you say yes or no. It's very complicated.
And is it a scoring method?
No. Just see how many.
So I can't win.
Out of 2, 4, 6, 8, how many do you say yes to?
All right,
okay?
Fine. Go.
I'll do it as well. Do you get FOMO or anxiety after spending time on social media?
Sometimes, yes. Do you?
Sometimes, yes. When you see someone showing off their new partner, their holiday, or their weight loss, is your natural reaction to be annoyed?
I don't think it's annoyance, but I do feel a twinge of something negative. You?
Definitely.
Why annoyance though?
Well, because what would you say it is?
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's annoyance.
Jealousy?
It's comparison.
Envy?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Do you take multiple selfies before feeling able to share the image?
No. Do you?
I don't really take a lot of selfies, but I'm imagining if I was 25 and I did, I definitely would.
I think that's an age thing that I don't, though, as well, because I used to. I don't anymore.
Have you ever deleted something from social media because it didn't get the response you wanted?
Yes. Have you?
Never.
Because you probably don't know how to delete it.
I do, but I don't care. Do you check who's viewed your Instagram story or liked your Facebook post several times a day?
No. Do you?
I check on our work Instagram.
So here's the thing. I used to do that.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
I check our TikTok.
Oh, right.
And there's certain posts that maybe it's an advert or there's something, it's work related of why I'm checking the numbers, not ego related.
Okay.
If I can
I agree. Mine's
separate them, but it's more about, if I'm checking it, it's more about finding what the data is, what's working, what's resonating, what isn't, that kind of thing.
Okay. Do you often compare yourself with others with respect to what you have accomplished in life?
Yes.
Yes, me too. Before tackling any situation, do you always need to know what other people have done first?
No.
No, me neither. If you want to know how well you've done something, do you compare what you have done with how others have done it?
Yes. Do you?
No.
Well, give me an example. I'm thinking like in the podcasting space. So let's say...
Okay, I'm thinking like a birthday cake that I've made. That's what I'm thinking of.
But a birthday cake that you've made is something that you're really good at doing, right?
Yeah,
and
but
you feel
obviously
really confident in
I am
it.
not a professional baker. So do I then go on baking things and look at other people's birthday cakes and then feel, oh my God, mine's actually shit in comparison to yours? That sort of thing.
So this is a great example, actually. When we hit 1 million downloads, and obviously we were really happy and it was a really big milestone for us. That same week, Mel Robbins, she's got a massive following and she launched her podcast.
Yes.
And within 2 weeks, she got 1 million downloads.
Yes.
She's like, I can't believe it. We've got 1 million downloads and it hasn't even been live for 2 weeks. And I went into a total comparison spiral of, oh my God, it took us over 300 episodes. She's released 2. And look what's happened.
But in that particular case, you are not comparing apples with apples. You're comparing us with Mel Robbins. So it's crazy because of course that's going to happen. But you can't help but do the comparison. But the comparison is not a fair comparison.
No, like it wouldn't be fair that if you made a lovely birthday cake and then went on to Lola's Cupcakes and they put a new post up with a brand new cake and you compare yourself to that.
Sure, but you do still end up feeling like shit. Either way.
Yeah. And also, it takes away from your achievements.
Yes, totally. So if you've answered 5 or more of those,
how many did I answer yes to?
Then you might be in the comparison trap.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So how do we? Because basically, what we're talking about now is not to get into the comparison trap, and how we can live life on our own terms, by our own rules, our own achievements, our own wants and desires and Forget everyone else.
Yeah.
Forget it. So firstly, let's deal with anyone who is feeling bad about their own body image because of social media.
Yeah.
Oof. Here are our top tips for stopping body comparisons to protect your body image.
Yes.
Remind yourself, it's other people's highlight reel. And we are going to be saying that a lot in this episode. You only see the best bits that they have curated for you to see. They are not putting up photos of their spot or their bad hair day or a horribly unflattering pair of jeans. Well, there are accounts that do that now, intentionally.
But those are utterly different, obviously, and purposely. For example, Celeste Barber is a brilliant example of that. So she puts up, firstly, a video of some sort of incredible gazelle-looking model sticking her leg straight up in the air and bending over to get a coffee. And then Celeste Barber will copy the video looking like a normal woman doing it. And the whole point of it is the comparison. The whole point is, I reckon most people look like me, this normal person doing this silly thing that this other woman looks insane doing, you know.
Who's also been photoshopped, and she's had a stylist and she's had a lighting technician on, and then a professional photographer, and there's a whole, listen, I used to be in the editorial space, there's a whole team of people around this one shot to make it perfect. But then you're right, it's exactly the same thing, isn't it? You're comparing yourself to something that doesn't even exist.
Yes.
Because that doesn't exist.
But that feed, her feed in particular,
yes,
always makes me feel good because it shines such a huge light on comparison.
Yes,
and how
it really
ridiculous it is. If you don't follow Celeste Barber, get on it because she's just brilliant.
So just remind yourself that it's other people's highlight reel, okay? Detox your social media feed and unfollow triggering accounts. Now, you're very good at this.
I'm really good at it.
And I'm not so good at it.
Why?
I really don't know.
Is there a bit of you that wants to annoy yourself?
There is one account on social media, and I'm not going to say who it is, but they post their family life all the time. Mm-hmm. And their family life is basically what they post is just perfection. Mm-hmm. And when I say perfection, I mean the kids are all doing amazing things, and they've got they're like doing their GCSEs and their A-levels, and they've got jobs, and they're like teachers, and they're tutoring, and then they're getting like honours in whatever it is they're doing, and then she's got a younger kid, and he's and you know,
are you describing my life? Oh, look. She's really wound up now.
That really wound me up.
Yeah. Charge it.
No.
Okay.
And her family life
Yeah.
seems perfect.
Obviously it
Her
isn't.
husband's always doing amazing things for her, and she's super successful. And the account, as much as I've got this fascination with watching her, and often when I have messed up in parenting, which I often do because that's what happens in parenting, you make mistakes, you move forward, you grow, you learn. I have her account at the back of my mind.
That's unhealthy.
I know.
Please unfollow. Please.
But why am I not unfollowing?
Because I think maybe you're waiting for her car crash to happen.
Do you think that's what I'm doing?
Maybe you're waiting for the one day when she goes, I had a shit day and the kids were little bastards.
She never
and
does
I hate
that.
my husband.
She never ever does that.
She doesn't, because she's on.
It's her highlight reel.
Right, it's her highlight reel. It's not real life. It's not real life. It's not her real life. Okay.
Anyway, so detox your feed and unfollow triggering accounts. I'm going to unfollow her.
Please.
Practice body gratitude.
Yes.
Celebrate aspects of yourself that have nothing to do with appearance. Embrace imperfection and be your own best friend. Now, we've done a whole show on a few of these things. The be your own best friend and practicing body gratitude. We did it on body positivity.
Yeah.
So there are lovely pieces of resource within our library. So go check those out. So that's just a small part of comparison with body image. I'm going to talk a lot more about this later in my week.
Because I think it's a very particular section of comparison, and a very, very common one,
especially for women,
and a comparison trap that a lot of women fall into. So I wanted to put it as a separate thing.
Thank you.
But now we've sorted that out, let's move on to how we can generally pull ourselves out of a comparison trap. So here's what we did this week and what we are going to chat to you about. Use comparison as a motivation to improve what actually matters. Keep a record of achievements. They can be big achievements. They can be minuscule achievements. But if you do something, anything that you feel proud of, write it down. Because at the end of a week, you're going to have a whole list of stuff that you feel proud of, that you have achieved. That has nothing to do with what anyone else has done.
I love it.
If you want to compare yourself with someone, compare yourself with you.
Yeah.
What can you do to improve your life quality? How can you be a more loving person? How can you be kinder to yourself than you were yesterday? You are the only person that you should and can compare yourself with.
How can you be kinder to yourself than you were yesterday?
Yes.
Now that is a great question.
I knew you'd love that.
I do love it.
Yeah.
Because there's so much information in that one question. And if we all just sat down now, shut our eyes and just focused on that question, the joy and nourishment and pleasure that would come from it can be life-changing. That is a life-changing question.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going back to the roast chicken breast in this episode, by the way.
What's the roast chicken breast?
Remember when we had on our full in the club interview with Daniel, when we were talking about money mindset, and I was talking about how I spend time every Friday preparing and cooking and serving a roast chicken, and I never ever ever serve myself the bit of chicken that I want, ever. And you both said, but imagine what it would be like if you were so nice to yourself and you served yourself that bit first. How would that feel? So I've done a bit of that this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look how lit up you are.
I
as
know.
well.
I
It's
was
lovely.
really happy with myself. Turn comparison into inspiration. We tend to focus on other people's success and not on the thousands of hours that they've spent preparing and working for their achievement. So instead of letting other people's triumphs get you down, let them open you up to possibilities.
Beautiful.
Let them be an inspiration for
Yes.
what you can be and what you can do and what you can have in life.
And that's what I was saying about my gym analogy.
Yeah.
There's no point in me comparing myself to certain people in the gym because they are built differently or their lifestyle, or they're younger than me, it doesn't matter. Because they're always going to be faster and stronger. So me comparing myself to them is just going to bring me down. And it's not going to build me up into being any better in the gym.
And it's pointless because there might be someone in there who's been going for 15 years and is 20 years younger than you. So really your only comparison is how well did I do yesterday? How well did I do last week? How well am I doing this week, next week? What am I? How am I improving?
Yourself with
yourself?
you.
Yeah.
Compare yourself with you.
And this is the last one. This is your favourite one. This is what
Yes.
you brought to this week. It's called the driftwood theory. And it's a little bit manifesty,
Yep.
but it does fit in beautifully.
Yep.
Do you want to explain it?
So if you are into manifestation, then this theory from Gabby Bernstein might really, really resonate. So she teaches a unique way to pay attention to the positive clues in our life, showing us that our desires are on the way to manifesting when we notice other people having what we want. Now, the thing is, I don't think that's true to that Instagram account I was telling you about.
No.
That's just toxic and unhealthy.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So you have to know the difference,
Yeah.
right? The common human response to seeing someone else have what we want can be jealousy, or if they have it, that means that we can't have it.
There's a lot of that. It's like, well, they've got it, so I can't. But that's just not true.
But there's enough abundance to go around for
Yes.
everybody. So instead, Gabby recommends to do this. When you're in the process of manifesting, the universe will show you all kinds of subtle, smaller signs that what you want is on the way. They're what Abraham Hicks calls driftwood. So often we simply don't notice this guidance, or we dismiss it as just a cool little coincidence. And sometimes we don't pick up on the guidance because it comes in the form of other people having what we want. And then that can be like,
ouch.
Yeah, exactly. So when someone has what you want, it confuses your fear-based ego, which thinks that there's not enough to go around. And you might think that if someone has what you want, that implies it's not available to you. But she says, I believe the more you see others who have what you want, the closer you are to getting it.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Choose to see the people who have what you want as a reflection of what's to come. So when you see others who have what you want, celebrate it. Let their success mirror back to you what you are ready to receive. And when we start to pay attention to the driftwood we encounter in all its forms, we realize that the universe is always giving us beautiful signs and guidance. It's a lovely practice.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful practice. So, what can you see this week where the universe is dropping clues, aka driftwood, demonstrating what you desire is on its way? Be conscious of what's showing up. Notice each twig as it shows and jot it down.
Yes. So the driftwood could come in the forms of just little twigs floating down a little stream, and you notice it. Oh, I wanted that. Oh, that's something that I want for myself. And you pick up each twig and notice each twig.
So rather than stepping into the envy or the ouch of it, you're stepping into the inspiration and the excitement of it.
And the abundance. Abundance breeds abundance.
Yes.
So if you celebrate the abundance in others and recognize that when you see the abundance in others, it's a sign that yours is getting closer to you. That's the manifesting of all of this.
I love it.
Okay. If you're into the manifesting generally, then that's a nice way of using it in relation to comparison.